What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Eesh. Not the market, that's for sure. Not a surprise. I mean, again, we're short. We're expected it to go lower. So certainly, no real surprises here. Okay. I mean, you have to remember, what the overall trend is now, which is lower, and you've got so many issues and so many problems that they continue to ignore that could be fixed easily, which is even sadder than anything else. I mean, you know, crude oil was up like last night at 1.15 bucks. Okay. For what reason? Okay. We've really got a 300-year supply here. Okay. Again, you ask me, this is almost criminal what we're watching here in the markets in general, because these problems could be solved, and we're worried about destroying the middle class without when we could solve the problem in 5 minutes. Okay, so you tell me. Okay, you guys tell me what you think. I don't know. I mean, this is a joke. It's not a joke. It's sad. It's sad for your children, your grandchildren, and future generations. The amount of damage being done right now with this stupid ass policies. Okay. And with the refusal to open up the wells is a criminal. To me, it's a criminal offense. Okay. I mean, you got one day last week, gas went up 50 cents overnight. Okay. And I'm sure it's going again tonight. Again, we're paying for all this garbage. Okay. Why? Okay. I mean, this spike up. I mean, obviously there's going to be some pullback here at some point, but we should be down in the 30 levels. Okay. Not at 120. Okay. And, I mean, that's why there's more pressure on everything. I mean, again, I don't know where anybody stands on, right. Okay. You couldn't support the electric cars if you had them. Okay. Look, you could give everyone for free an electric car. You couldn't support it anyways. We are so antiquated in our power grid and everything else. You couldn't handle it anyways. It's an absolute stone joke. Okay. What is going on here right now? Okay. Yeah, I know. The gas, that's another game that's being played, right? But at the end of the day, okay, we could be in great shape, but of course, when you give up your power to everybody else, okay, and you do not worry about law and order, look what happens. Look what happens around the country, okay, around the world. All right. I mean, you think this is by accident? Okay. I sent the dummy for something. I mean, do you think this is like an accident that this is happening? This was as predictable as everything else. I mean, we talked about crude from the very beginning, that it was going to go after the election. We said that with the moronic energy policies that we are going to see, that crude oil is going to $100 a barrel. Do you remember that? Okay. And then I said, there's a better chance we're going to make all-time new highs. Okay. Yes, it takes fossil fuel to generate. Listen, I am so against, and I had some interesting conversations with some scientists, that are way above my head. But at the end of the day, they tell me that this global warming is BS also. And again, I'm not going to pick a side here. Okay. But I read and went and looked at stuff from this Kostak. Okay. And that shows the cycles over the last, billions of years, whatever. And they were, in my opinion, they are right. Okay. So, let's continue to torture middle class America. Let's continue to torture those who have to drive for a living. Okay. And don't kid yourself. All that money that they pay out gets passed on to the consumer. Okay. All the money that is being, you're extra paying for, you're more than paying for it just at the pump. Okay. You're paying it for it everywhere you go. Okay, because the delivery of gasoline or oil, it costs money too. Okay, the delivery of your goods when they deliver to Walmart, that ain't free. Somebody's going to pay that cost. Okay, so look at it as you wish, but it's fairly simple. And I don't know why we've got all these geniuses in the world, okay, that can't figure out how simple it is to put us back on track. But they're the same imbeciles that decided not to fix the levees in New Orleans when they were told 5 years prior to Katrina that they needed to be fixed. No one asks if they're wrong. That's correct. Nobody asks if they're wrong about global warming. And I say they're wrong. Okay. I have enough evidence and enough proof and guys I didn't know. I mean, these aren't people. As one guy walked up to me in a bar and said, I know you. I said, no, you don't. He said, you're on Varney. I said, yeah, I used to be until I told him he was full of crap and he threw me off. But, he explained it to me for hours. Okay. And again, is he right? I don't know. Okay. But again, I don't believe it. I never really believed it anyways. The same thing I didn't believe COVID. That COVID came from China. Okay. That was a direct, an intentional virus, not an accidental. Okay. Now you can agree or disagree. Again, I don't know. I'm not that smart. Okay. But I know that I'm smart enough to understand basic economics. And I'm smart enough to understand that with what this administration is doing right now, okay, you are busting out an entire generation, okay, and are destroying the average American, okay. So you can take that for what it's worth, but this is the worst administration in my lifetime, okay. And I'm not talking about Democrat, Republican. I'm just talking about out of any administration I've ever seen, and I only go back to legitimately. I go back to the first Nixon, right? Okay, I mean, I was around when Kennedy was elected, but I wasn't, I didn't know what the hell was going on, right? So, but by the time I was old enough to understand anything, this is the worst ever. Okay, and it's creating, problems. Okay, they cannot predict the weather with 80%. Well, that's true too. Look, I don't disagree with any of you on that stuff. Okay, I only say that even if there was a threat of global warming, even if there is, okay, at what cost, which I ask almost every week, at what cost are we going to deal with this? Okay, again, you're the penalties that we're paying. I mean, this goes back to we started a revolutionary war for stuff like this. Taxation without representation. Who had the worst problems on this administration? I don't know. Anybody? You tell me. I'm not a historian. Okay. But I know that the politics in general sucks. Okay. And I know that both Republicans and Democrats have been ripping off people for as long as I remember. Okay. Both sides. Okay. They're all a bunch of criminals. Okay. In one way or another, the way they do things and the way they let the lobbyists, do business. Okay. You tell me. Okay. Does limit up mean we cannot get I cannot even get back into it? No, you can't get back into wheat. Why are you not in? Why did you get out? Okay. You can't buy it unless you get it before it goes up limit. And it's right now, even tomorrow, it's bid through the option market up limit now for tomorrow. That's $1.35. Okay. Why would you ever get out of it? Okay. We're long. We've been long week. We missed one day. Okay. Well, we got right back in Tuesday. Okay. I'm angry at the attack on family. Yes. You should be angry at the attack on young people. Okay. You should be. Listen, there's a lot to be angry about. Okay. Because we have no law and order. Okay. And that State of the Union was a joke. Okay. I mean, that was, hey, buddy, how are you? Nice. Where's my Camaro? I was expecting a Camaro in my garage after last week. Oh, man. But, again, look, I'm not a complainer. Okay. Red, right, is correct. I'm not a complainer. I bitch a lot because I like to bitch. But I listen. I go with the flow, and I understand what tough times are and what good times are. But why should we have to suffer bad times for no reason? Okay, that's what I don't understand. Okay, why should we have to suffer with bad times for no reason? Why should Russia be attacking Ukraine? Okay, I got news for you. You may have hated Trump, whatever, but if he was in power, that never would have happened. Okay, that attack would not have taken place if Trump was in power. Okay, and I got news for you. I think Taiwan is next. Okay, and I don't think it's going to be more. I'll predict within 30 days the Chinese are in Taiwan. Okay, this is very orchestrated. This is very. Musk said himself yesterday that Germany should fire up all their. Well, there's this is a problem. Okay, look, there's a lot more problems. I'll wait for. Oh, Andy is here. What's up, brother?
How you doing?
I'm on a rant, man, and I'll since you're here now, I'll include you in on it.
I just can't got here.
What's that?
I said keep going. I'm listening.
Okay, and so I mean, if Trump was in office, we would not be having these problems. Okay, if Trump was in office, we wouldn't be paying, I don't know, depending on where you live, anywhere between $3.50 and $6 a gallon for gasoline. Okay,
I paid $4.58 this morning.
How much?
$4.58.
I saw that last week. I'm in Chicago now, but last week when I was there, it went up overnight. One night it went 50 cents higher. Okay.
Yep.
And
by the way, that was at Costco.
Yes, I know. I was there.
Unbelievable.
I mean, again, I'm just saying that this is.
By the way, I paid $4.58 at 7:00 this morning.
Right. This is going to be 5:08 tomorrow.
It's going to be $5.50 tomorrow morning.
Yeah. I'm unbelievable. Okay. I mean, $4.15 in New York City now. Okay. Well, again, there's taxes. Vegas is a little bit more expensive as well because they don't have the capability of getting it there. It's a big cost. They don't have a pipeline there to get it. They got to drive it in. So
we do have a distillate pipeline that goes to McCarran.
Okay.
And to Nellis Airport base. So distillates are cheaper. But you know what? Hey, new all-time highs in gasoline today. Distillates went to under 2 cents below the 2008 high.
I saw that.
This doesn't feel like it's over.
I don't think it's anywhere near over.
No, I agree.
I thought that last night when it gapped up $15, it would be a sale for a trade, which I did. Okay, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it test that high tomorrow. And again, I wouldn't be surprised, in the next couple of weeks if we hit the all-time new highs. Now there's going to be
the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if it was tomorrow. Look, the bottom line is. I have to take. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
I got it. I drove from DC today. 449 home is now 370. Well, tomorrow it'll be 429 at home. Okay. $1.50 per liter in the Midlands, UK. Kill me. I mean, this is again, look, I'm just talking straight facts now. I'm not looking to complain. And again, I bitch, like I said, I bitch all the time anyway, just for kicks, but this is horrendous. You back?
Sorry. It's my mother, when she calls, she
listen.
You know what she wanted to know? You know what she wanted to know?
What?
She says, listen, I have a quick question for you. What's a crypto mine? I was like, you know what? I'll talk to you later.
Can we see 150 crude oil? Of course you can see 150. You can see 150 this week.
Right. And I think we could see $200 crude oil. Listen, coal prices went to $440 a ton last week.
Right.
I mean, this is out of control. This is why we follow trends, why we don't pick tops. You want to pick a top in this market? Listen, Bubba said it this morning. Look, it was up $15. He had a trade. When he went and had that trade, I'm sure he had a level in mind where he was going to run for the hills and one where he was going to take profits. That's different. That's trading. When we're following trends, we follow trends because we don't want to forget tops. Forget tops. Forget bottoms. Forget tops. Just follow the trends.
I'll put it this way: the trade lasted. The trade lasted about.
If it was more than 10 minutes, I'd be shocked.
About 12 minutes. I had a $3 profit, and I said, "Okay, that's good. I'm out."
Right.
And of course I had had a $10 profit if I'd have waited, but again, I was
Right,
very
but
happy.
where were you looking to say I'm wrong? You know, how much were you risking?
I gave it a buck and a half to be
Right.
right.
So you basically had a 2-to-1
Yeah.
in your favor. That's trading. That's logical, intelligent
Yeah.
trading. Okay. Look, I mean,
Everything we said to buy last week was a winner. Everything we said to sell last week was a winner. We nailed this market.
right, right. And you know what else? You know what else? It's risk. It's all about risk reward in these markets, folks. Look, human nature is going to tell you when you're long and the market's going up, you ain't long enough. And it's going to tell you when you're long and the market's going down, you're too long. This is just put all those impulses aside. You have to have a clear head. You have to take a deep breath, and you have to watch risk reward. That's the most important thing here. You know, I have no idea where this stuff is going. I will say one thing. I came in at the tail end and I knew where you were going. I agree with you that the world's a mess, that it's US weakness that's caused this. And, you know, the problem is this could spiral out of control. And that's
I think it's going to. I don't know if you heard me say that. I think that China will be in Taiwan within 30 days.
Yeah, but we're not going to do anything about it.
I mean, but we're almost obligated, are we not?
It doesn't matter. We're not.
I'm just saying that here. So here you have.
You heard the magic words. Listen, Biden said the magic words to Putin when he said, "Oh, a small incursion." That gave him and China heard the magic words where he said, "Well, we're not going to start a war with the nuclear power." Yeah, magic words. That's like a free pass.
Right. Look, again, it's unbelievable that this country is standing down to this imbecile, and it's not really him; it's whoever behind him who's pushing this stupid ass agenda. Okay, and this is creating strife among and you haven't seen nothing yet. Okay.
I mean, you know, this is. I mean, what's going on in the grain mill? What's going on?
Well, I was going to bring that up next. So let me ask you a question right up as you're going to bring it up. What's going to happen in the breadbasket of the world?
I mean, it's a minefield and a battlefield now.
Right. It's already a volatile place to begin with, the Middle East, right?
Yeah, but wait a minute. What are we talking about? The Middle East, or we're talking about the
bread? They call it the breadbasket, where they don't grow their own. They have to. They're based on. They need supply from Russia. You know, Egypt and
right. And I'm saying I said that the breadbasket in Ukraine and Russia is a battlefield now, right? Okay. And it's a minefield, and you know, wheat. 2/3 of the 1/3 of the world's wheat comes from that region. I mean, right. You know, 6 days in a row limit up in CBOT wheat. I mean, this is severe. Oil is one thing, but what are you going to do when, you know, your food basket is $1,000 a week?
And you know what's worse about it is that it's like for tomorrow. Right now, if you look at the option market, wheat's priced up, almost limit up tomorrow, and it's expanded to $1.35 tomorrow. Today's right. Expanded to 85. Tomorrow's $1.35.
Right. I mean, are you surprised? Listen,
I'm not surprised.
You remember spring wheat went to $24. Listen, I will tell you, we will take a little victory lap here because we did say that of all the commodities, wheat is the most political, and it's proven that. I mean, hey, crude oil, hell of a move, but wheat, off the charts.
Unbelievable. It is unbelievable what is going on. And the sad part is, as I said, it is for no reason. And that's what makes it worse. Okay. Is that it didn't have to be. Okay. But when you start and you give up control of everything and you pass the power and you have no law and order and you have half of the administration wanting to defund the police and things like that. Okay. And if you heard that State of the Union, that was about as bad as it gets, in my opinion. I had to watch a little bit because I was on TV the next morning to have to talk about it. That was about the worst State of the Union I've ever heard or encountered in my lifetime. What do you think about that?
The State of the Union?
Yeah.
It was nauseating. It was nauseating. He had such an opportunity to pivot on energy. He had such an opportunity. It's an opportunity lost. It was sad. It was build back better in different words. But I will say this. Look,
yes, sir.
Look, I will say this, and I mean, and I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart. I hope he has an epiphany because he is our president, the president of the United States. And the world is so screwed up right now. And there's so many issues that I'm praying for him because we need, I'll be his biggest fan if he can figure out a way out of this. I don't think he will.
Well, let me ask you a question.
I'm praying for him. Okay.
But let me ask you a question. First of all, and I'm serious now, and I'm not because I don't like him. I never liked him. Okay. And I'm going back 30 years. I didn't like him. But do you think that he's even all there anymore?
No.
Okay. So he's not really controlling. So we really hope the people behind him that to fight the real progressives, because that's where all the trouble's coming from.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that is exactly correct.
Okay.
And the answer to this, unfortunately, doesn't come from this country. It doesn't come from Europe. It really comes from the Russian people, because the only one who could take this guy out is the Russian people.
Right.
They're the only ones who can acceptably take this out without sending this world into a spiral. So, that's the answer. And, I just hope that, listen, his generals, his troops can't be thrilled. I have a lot of respect for the Ukrainians. They're fighting the good fight, but they're up against a monstrous army, and this guy, I could see him dropping a nuke on them. It's
Right.
very scary.
It's a very scary time in this country. I hear
The
the couple
world.
boys up there. Africa will starve like you've never seen. Of course, they're going to starve
Of course they will.
because there's no food. There's going to be no bread. Where's Marie Antoinette when we need her? And if you want to go long wheat again, look, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have trouble being a long wheat now because margins are 125%.
Right.
Okay. Number one. Number two, I think you agree. We both think it's going still higher, but there's going to be at some point here.
There's going to be a massive correction.
With the exchanges panicking and obviously raising these margins dramatically, taking away day trading margins, they are forcing a position where we're going to get a huge, sell off. I mean, listen, if we went down 20%, that wouldn't be a big deal. And again, I would not be jumping in to wheat the minute it pulls off limit. Okay.
No, I would be very, very cautious in markets across all asset classes here. This is a very scary time. Listen, if you're in wheat now, God bless you. There's a lot of profits in there, and protect them. That's it. Don't pick a top, but certainly,
Just in, Russia Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak threatens to embargo oil exports, halting gas supplies through
Perfect. I expected that, by the way. That's the next leg up.
Yeah. Now, again, this is not a surprise. This is far from over, which is why prices are far from going higher. There will be some uglies. Okay, just like I would expect to see this week in equities, a rip your face off rally to the upside. Okay, and that's just to be a short covering squeeze. But other than that, we got big problems coming here. I'm so happy I'm hedged. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Because this is going to get really, really nasty. Okay, and again, if you look at it, and where is Jerome Powell? It's like, where's Waldo? He's hiding. We haven't heard a word from him.
He's going to raise interest rates 25 basis points.
Yeah, where is he? He's hiding somewhere.
That's like making pee-pee in the ocean,
Yeah, I mean, this guy, him and Fauci must be on a boat somewhere, after they magically cured COVID. And so anyways, again, not to belabor the point, and we'll move on, but again, it's a very scary time. And the real problem is it's a very scary time for no reason. Okay, that's the bigger problem, because we have an administration that doesn't care about law and order. We have an administration that doesn't care about defending its own people. Okay. And, and I know my colonels here, I want to get their thoughts. Okay. And I want an opinion from you if you're willing to share. Okay. Because, you have a very high understanding of all this stuff, and I want to get it right. Okay. And you'll tell me if I can speak it or not. But again, I'm very scared for what's coming. Again, for me and Andy, it's not that big a deal. We're old. Okay. But for his children, he got grandchildren now. I mean, it's a problem. This is something that's going to take generations to even overcome. Okay. And these are some of the issues that are waning here. And so, sir, do you have any bitches this week?
I can't even think about bitching. I will tell you, it's a tragedy. I will say, whatever Zelensky's past was, the guy's a hero. He wouldn't run away from his homeland. The guy in Afghanistan ran like he couldn't run fast enough. This guy, he's hanging in there with his people, and I have respect for him. Will he lose his life? I would say the odds are he will lose his life, and that's
heavy favorite.
I mean, I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't. And but these are very brave people. These are tremendously brave people in the face of this. I asked you a question, Bubba. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If the U.S. was ever invaded like this, do you think that the U.S. citizens, the current makeup of this country, would stand up like they are?
No,
I don't either.
No, they would hand over everything. Here, take it.
Right.
That's what I think.
Pledge allegiance to China.
I listen. When you start changing America from a powerhouse to a weakling, and you start teaching your people, and you destroy your past history of how we got here, okay? When you tear down statues and you have people protesting nonsense, okay, it becomes, I think, a much bigger problem.
Well, Stacey Abrams summed it up when she said at the end of last week, that she is the Vladimir Zelensky of America because she's standing up for voting rights.
Yeah.
Okay, that says it all.
Yes, exactly correct. That says it all. Yeah. I think that hopefully we will see some very dramatic changes coming up. Because obviously November is getting closer and closer, but what's going to happen?
Do you think we should open a no-fly zone over Ukraine?
I don't really have an opinion on that.
I'm just asking.
I don't really have an opinion. Do I realize it doesn't matter how many gun owners there are. Look, I've always said that the far left is nuts and the far right is nuts. The difference between the two is the far right has got weapons,
right,
and not afraid to use them. Okay, but again, you have so many people here that have really made it even worse because they don't stand up to it. Okay, and again, we'll see. This does not have the makings of a happy ending. Okay, in any way, shape, or form in this country. And as I've said for a few years, going back, that I do believe there's going to be another revolution in this country because
Lenin, Vladimir Lenin, the founder of the Soviet Union, in 1917, you know what he said? He said, there are decades when nothing happens, and there are weeks when decades happen.
Listen, and there you have it. I mean, this is, again, we have, like I said, it shouldn't be, the innocent people in Ukraine shouldn't be getting bombarded. The women and children shouldn't be dying. We shouldn't be having these situations. Okay, but again, when you destroy your own power by giving it away to Russia, China, and Saudi Arabia,
and life is cheap to those people, to those leaders.
That's right.
Life is
meaningless. They don't care. Okay, they got enough to replace them. Right. So again, anyways, so let's take a look and see what else is going on, my brother. And of course, the dollar, no surprise, continues to skyrocket higher.
Yeah, but look at its purchasing power. I will say it's not even the best horse in the glue factory. And just compare it to anything else on the screen other than stocks. And, look, compare it to any commodity. The dollar's tanking too, folks. The dollar's screaming. And listen, the euro, Bubba's going to be right. The euro is going to go to parity because they're on the doorstep of this war. And, there's no question about that in my mind. And the dollar's going to continue higher. But just look at everything else. The purchasing power is horrible.
Your purchasing power is zero, basically. Okay. And so in the meantime, we're still long dollars. And I think the next target is par. I mean, I
What,
think we're
against the
going
euro?
back.
Yeah. Parity.
I mean, you're at par.
Well,
Parity.
100. Listen, the target on the dollar index is 10, just under 104. That was the March 2020 high.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Just stepping back for a minute. 2 years ago, we were talking about COVID, and March 2020, the markets were tanking because of COVID, right? Everything was tanking.
Right.
And now March 2020, who would ever thought that we get past that? And here we are in March 2022, and nuclear war is a real threat.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You're right. And again, there's Connie, the levels for the dollar, Connie, are going to be 98 to $1. Okay. 98 to $1. Okay. Let me just get a couple of these questions real quick. How do you think people react? Well, I think that, look, I posted, I think it was last week, wasn't it? The pictures from the empty stores, the empty shelves. I think that, food becomes very important. It's always important, but it becomes very important, especially when you get hoarders involved. And now people aren't going to be able to eat, even if they have the money to go eat, they're not going to be able to eat. And that's going to look at, these are problems that will create another war here. Okay. I mean, again, you cannot keep taking away from people that are used to being free. Okay. So,
well, let's hope for good weather this year, because the U.S. farmers are going to say,
and that's also a problem, and the farmers are going to have a problem. And some of the components for fertilizer, we're already at a fertilizer shortage, and a couple of key components come directly from Russia.
Russia's the biggest exporter of nitrogen-based phosphorus. By the way, Ukraine is also a big producer of fertilizers.
Right.
My buddy at Solomon ran the fertilizer business. He spent a lot of time in Kiev. So
right.
This is this is key. It's critical.
Yeah. I mean, again, people will stand up. They will stand up and they will be counted. But again, I think we're getting closer. Okay. Heating oil, will it run with oil? Of course it will.
Heating oil is distillate fuel. So the heating oil contract that you're looking at is a proxy for jet fuel. It's a proxy for diesel fuel. It's a proxy for all of the distillates. So heating oil is not seasonal. And heating oil, hey, listen, this is running with it all. It's all running. Gasoline's going to run with it too. And eventually natural gas is going to run with it, because they're going to shut down European supplies, and Europe's going to turn to the United States. And maybe then we'll start fracking again. If we could find the other interesting thing is that all the people who are in the oil industry, they're working for Amazon now.
He had his big chance last week to do that.
He did.
Okay. And he did not.
I told you they're going to look back at that speech and say opportunity lost.
Okay. Now, I think that you have obviously many, many issues here. Okay. And it's going to be, listen, again, we're far from the finish line of where this is going. Okay. And hopefully, again, we have to hope somebody will step up here. Okay. What do you think about someone wants to know about uranium? Will they sanction?
It's possible. Listen, the biggest producer of uranium, I think, is Kazakhstan, but I think Australia has the biggest reserves. Uranium took a hit last week after they bombed that nuclear power plant, but nuke is critical. And I think, uranium, like all these metals, like all these commodities, the price will go higher.
Okay.
That's my view.
I agree. The euro currency, again, we're short euros. Okay. And they're getting hammered. Okay.
Yeah, parity, baby.
Yep, 88 cents. That's my number.
By the way, put up a really long-term chart. You'll see where the just go all the way back 20 years. You'll see where we're closing in on the critical bottom there to end this.
Yeah, I got to switch charts to go
okay.
back.
We're closing in on the critical level on the downside that could cause the euro to free fall. And don't forget, folks. The euro, Europe is the backyard. This crap is going on in their backyard.
Right. Again, we're just saying that this is what you're seeing. This is like, now again, I will bet that there'll be a spike rally sometime this week here.
Yeah.
Okay, penny or two. Okay, which is, again, a penny or two is $1,250 or $2,500. Okay, if you're trading the futures contract. But again, to me, if you want to sell, I mean, I'm a seller. I'm a new seller at probably 109. Okay, 109, 110, 110 will be my sell level. 110, I'd be willing to sell there. Okay, and I ain't a buyer at no price. Okay, again, day trade, I could buy it at any time. In fact, I bought it today. Okay, for a trade. But overall, I'm looking for spots to sell this thing. This thing is going much lower. 110 resistance, and again, I don't see any support coming until probably 105 maybe. Okay, but again, I don't even want to give a support level. There is none as far as I'm concerned. Bitcoin, we reversed the short today. Look, it's still in the same pattern. I am kind of surprised that we haven't seen a little bit better action in Bitcoin with what's going on. What do you think?
And look, that key reversal on November 10th hurt a lot of latecomers to that market. I think people are distracted with other things to do. But I will say that cryptocurrencies have a lot of utility in this kind of crazy world. And I wouldn't be surprised if people in the Baltic states, with people in all the former Russian satellite countries and in Taiwan and in places like Asia, putting some of their portfolios into this stuff on this dip, because this is flight capital. It's
Right.
the easiest flight capital. You stick a flash drive or a piece of paper with a secure keyword in your pocket, and you can run with the shirt on your back.
Right. I would say crypto, I mean, Bitcoin is probably 36 to 44 is still same as last week. That hasn't changed.
Yeah, you got to be wide there. By the way, you got to be wide in everything this week.
Right.
My opinion.
Right. I had made a bet when Biden was elected, the U.S. soldier will die in foreign war before 2 years of Biden invasion, because President Biden is a globalist. I hope I lose, but it doesn't look like.
I pray to God that you lose that bet.
Yeah, we all do. Okay, and of course, the bond market had a little spike up. We're long bonds. Okay, again, I personally don't like it, but again, I'm not going to fight the trend. And again, you remember, when you start to see fear in the world, okay, where does the money run? Bond market, dollars. Okay, and that's what you're seeing. So we are benefiting from this rally, but again, it's I think it's more artificial, and this is also showing you that Chair Powell is hiding somewhere. Okay?
Right. And let me tell you one other thing, that in March 2020, when the you-know-what hit the fan during the as COVID was going around the world, the bond went to 200 on the spike. We're 40 points below there. So, the bond is fundamentally weak, but you cannot be short it in this environment.
Right. Exactly. But if for today, okay, I would probably say
this is why we ignore fundamentals.
Right.
Because a fundamentalist would be short the bond market here. No, we trade with the trends, because the bottom line is that you got to go with the flow, and sentiment is telling you money's flowing into bonds.
157 to 161. Okay, big wide range, but it's got to be. I mean, just in the last 20 minutes, the bonds have moved 30 ticks.
Right.
Okay, so again, they used to move 2-3 ticks a day. Now they move a point a day. It's amazing. And of course, the gold market. Well, gee, surprise. Okay, now we called and said that it was going to break. Okay, out of this range here, if you remember. And look at this. Now again, you're getting. I'm kind of surprised myself that it closed over 2,000 today. Okay, it's a little bit too parabolic. We're long, so I'm thrilled. But to me, that usually represents a little sign of potential trouble just in the short term. Again, it's not going to reverse. I mean, gold looks great, but I think that you're probably going to see either a retest 1980 to 1940, more likely 1940, in my opinion.
Bubba, go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to say, for months, you and I had said the same thing.
Okay.
Lower highs and higher lows, wedge pattern. You pointed out a bit of a cup and handle there, although you don't like it, but you did point it out.
Well, I don't use it, but I'll point it out.
Right. But you pointed it out. We were saying, and we said that our bias was to the upside. We said that. We said, listen, even when we were short, we said our bias was to the upside. My opinion here.
Your exact statement was, we take the money we make on the short side and buy physical gold.
Right, exactly. So my point here is, I think gold has a really long way to run. Now, does that mean it's going to go up in a straight line? No, but I think that gold is, I think that gold's going to shock people.
Yeah, I do
Because
too.
it's just a commentary on the worthless value of fiat currencies, which depend on the full faith and credit in governments, and there is none.
Right. And I think that, I think that, gold is going to test the all-time highs. Okay. And go further. Okay. Silver is obviously 1 billion miles away from the all-time highs, but I think silver's headed for 30 next. Okay.
Oh yeah,
So-
I too.
And here, I'm sorry, Ken, I gotta go back. My bad. 1940 to 2020. But again, we're not sellers, but 1940 to 2020, those are the levels I'd be watching. Okay. And then silver, again, was they're both kind of choppy today. And then gold just took off. Silver was still kind of weak, but it is breaking out once again. I mean, 25.50 is going to be pretty solid support. And actually, when you look at the chart on silver, it is not as steep as gold, which means there's more room for it to go without cause. Okay.
Which means that the rocket ride's coming.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think 25.50 and I think $30 is the next step. Okay. That's where I'm looking. Okay. That's the real next resistance. I mean, 27 should be a little bit of a pause, but I think we're going back to 30. Okay. From here. And again, as long as
there's pretty good support at 25.50.
Yep, indeed. Okay. And platinum, again, over 1,100 fine. And I got news for you. Forget about the price moving, but the chart, this is the best looking chart of all.
It is. It's the
Okay.
best looking chart at all in the worst performing precious metal
Correct.
over the past years. And
Correct.
very often, the worst becomes the best.
You have said that before. And I mean, just look at it. It is doing exactly, you couldn't put this in a book any better than it's acting right now. Okay. It holds the trend on the way up. It pops up and goes above it and comes right back below and reverts back to the mean and holds the support and then pops again. Okay.
To really be in a real bull market, platinum's got to move above 1,400. So it's got a lot of room.
Yep. Oh yeah. I think, look, again, I think we're getting there. I mean, I think the next target is 1,200. Okay. So we'll see. But anyways, for today, Connie, 1050 to 1,200. Okay.
And you must put, even though we don't cover it, you must put palladium up there today.
I don't even know what the symbol is, but I will.
PA.
Okay, hold on.
Because that's, that's Russia. That's Russia.
I just got to find it. It's not tradable for the normal human being. So
There it is.
normal human beings can't trade this stuff.
No, I get it. There it is.
Yeah.
New all-time highs above 3,400. Russia is the 800-pound gorilla, and we need palladium for catalytic converters. So, forget about sanctioning oil and stuff. They will embargo palladium. That I can promise you.
Yeah, what is it? I think the margin is like some ridiculous number. No,
As it should be. I mean, the thing in December it was down below 1,600.
$41,000 is the margin on palladium.
And it's a 100-ounce contract.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so the value of the commodity at, let's say, 3,000 is 300,000. So 12% more, 13.3% margin.
Somebody has a question, what's going on with Bitcoin, Biden passing some law? Look, I don't care what laws they pass. I don't care what they do. Markets are markets and markets will trade. And right now, Bitcoin is struggling under any circumstances.
Right.
It will find some equilibrium and it will charge to the upside again. Please, it's very imperative that you do not try every little thing. Whatever they say Biden was going to do, if he's going to do it this week, has been long priced in to what's going to happen. Okay. You might get the biggest rally off of that announcement if you are correct. So please.
Everyone's comfortable with it's come down to 38,000. It looks cheap. The thing was 10 cents in 2010. Come on, this is a wild market, wild swings. I'm glad Bubba put a big price range on it. That's a wild market.
Don't get your panties in an uproar when a market is moving, because again, the markets are pricing in long before you see it print on the tape. The markets already have the information, believe me. Okay. Copper Well, it got over $5 and then it quit for a minute. But again, look at the breakout right here. We said it was
Huge.
going to break out. Okay.
Right.
And we said we think it's going to be the upside. We're long.
By the
copper.
way, copper was nothing compared to what aluminum and nickel did. And you can't, I know you don't, not going to put a chart of those up. Aluminum all-time highs. Nickel was up at $40,000 a ton. Last week, it was $25,000 a ton. You know, these are industrial commodities, wild volatility. Copper is critical for this Green New Deal and for EVs and all this kind of stuff. There's not a lot of new copper mines out there. The bottom line is, you know, all of these look great. Hey, above $5, that's an all-time high. Am I surprised that it came tumbling down? No, but where is it? It's 475.
Right. Now it's at the top end of the range.
Right.
Listen, somebody just messaged us, Andy, that the TD stopped. You can't trade wheat. You can only closing only, which is obviously the sign of panic.
Right.
Anytime you're with a broker that is giving you the futures market as an accommodation, they're going to make it much more challenging. That's why I don't recommend using an equity broker to trade futures. Okay.
Right.
We have no problem trading wheat where we are. Okay.
Yeah, and I've been trading the Tucrium wheat fund, which is, you know, but the liquidity's been really good in it. The ETF, that's been okay lately. So, you know, Bubba's right. If you don't go to a specialized futures broker, you're going to, you know, the minute.
Especially if you're farming, you got to be out of your mind to use TD Ameritrade. Okay.
Right. That's
Okay.
it.
Again, nothing
First of
personal.
all, they're charging you through the nose.
Right. But I mean, again, they put ridiculous restrictions on it, and then their margins are always way higher than anybody else.
Right.
Again, they're giving you an accommodation.
Right. It's heads with those guys. The best way to put it is it's heads they win, tails you lose.
That's right. Okay. Just look at the FINRA rules. Okay.
Right.
Anyways, copper $4.60 to $5.
It did trade 5 though, Bubba.
Yes, it did. It was $5.06. I was thinking about you this morning. Something like that. Yeah, it was over $5. We're long.
Yeah. Last night I saw it was over there.
We're long.
But
Corn.
it's a wild. These are wild market. Corn. Look at that.
I mean, look. At the end of the day, everybody. You know, I did RFD. I do RFD on Mondays and Fridays. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I go, hey, you're gonna get some pullback. It's not a big deal. Look at the pattern.
By the way, Ukraine is the biggest exporter of corn to Africa in the world. You know, Ukraine grows a shitload, pardon my French, of corn. We might be the biggest producer and exporter.
Was that French or Russian?
Ukraine is huge in corn.
Yeah. I mean, again, look, we're long. We've been long. And to me.
And by the way, why do you think he invaded this country?
Naturally. Listen, 725 or so should be supportive. It makes it back that far. There's certainly some support around 740, 750. And as far as the top side, look, again, I think we're going through $8. Okay. I don't think this is over. I think this is far from over. And you're already hearing about some dry conditions and between the cost to plant the farm and between what might happen with interest rates and what's going on in the world, I think grains are doing nothing but going up. What do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised to see $10 corn.
Right.
You know, we said we're going to be looking down at the teens and soybeans. I think that all of these things are going much higher, and that's bad news.
And I think, and
I also going to starve.
And I also think that you're going to have a shortage of food next year. Okay. I don't think you're going to get enough growth. And I think that some of the smaller farmers may not be able to grow next year because again, it's farming is just not, you throw a couple of seeds in the ground. I mean, it's an expensive endeavor to be a farmer.
That's right.
Yeah. You get paid well on good years and you suffer on bad years. And certainly I'm telling you that I think there's a real possibility of a shortage of food next year because we've already got weather conditions starting already. Okay. And B, there's going to be some farmers that may choose not to plant because they don't want to take the exposure of all these ridiculous costs that they have to pay just for the inputs and plus the loan value. And if interest rates go higher, as I said every week, farmers already get screwed on interest rates. Just think about what will happen if interest rates go up. Okay. So,
and how are they going to keep the pests off their crops?
Exactly. 740, 720, 740, $8 next stop, but we're going higher. Okay. Soybeans, look, you got a big move up, and all we're doing now is consolidating. Okay, waiting for the trend line to catch up to it, and then it'll take off again. And I think the next big move will take us out of the teens and into the 20s.
I agree.
Okay. Now, again, right now, it's pausing. Why? Because the move up was too fast. So you have to go sideways. You're seeing a consolidation pattern between what 1640, 1650, and 1690. Look, it's going higher. The way this chart looks, it's going a lot higher. Okay. And there's no reason to get in its way, but you're going to see this sidewards action, choppy back and forth, because this is the consolidation phase. We know the phases of the market. Okay. Margins are high in everything. Ash, they raised margins 125% on crude, 125% on beans, 125% on corn, and wheat is 125% if you can trade it. Okay. So in the meantime, look at the exchanges are panicking, which tells me that a temporary top is coming near. Okay. And again, it doesn't mean it's tomorrow, but when the exchanges start to panic, they're usually the last ones to panic.
You have to also remember that a lot of the farmers and stuff have, pre-hedged certain crops, and they're getting margin calls. And if they can't meet those margin calls, they get closed out of those hedges.
That's right.
Because the way they hedge, the old Bubba and I have talked to farmers, and we've made, suggestions to them on ways they protect themselves. And we never allow them to give up the upside, because when you sell calls or you sell the futures and something like this happens, the margin call can put you out of business.
That's right. Listen, we never give up the upside, and my guys are and I told all my guys, don't sell anything unless you have to. If you need money, sell a little bit, but hold as much as you can, because you're going much higher. You already know where you're getting out, and we can always roll up our basis.
But Bubba, if they insist on hedging, you construct something for them that leaves the upside.
I have them hedged the right way. That's it.
Right, and does not expose them to these margin calls.
No,
and that's the key. And the banks, a lot of the banks that finance them, and I worked for one of them, they want them to give up the upside, and then they squeeze them out when the markets do this kind of stuff. You got to be very careful.
That's right. That you very high probability if you're not hedged and something happens, you get a forced liquidation call. Okay?
Right.
So, anyways, soybeans, 1640, $17. Wheat, look, what can I say? It goes up limit every day. I don't even have numbers I can give you. Okay?
Well, if you're a buyer, you can't buy nothing.
That's right.
And if you're a seller, you could sell all you want, but tomorrow you'll get a margin call, they'll close you up the next time it's
so there is no levels on wheat.
Right. There's no levels.
They haven't traded. They haven't traded for 4 days.
And if you're long wheat, God bless. God bless. But you know what? If you're long wheat, realize that eventually, this thing can turn the other way, like we've seen in lumber, and it could be down limit 6 days in a row, and you can't get out.
Right. Now again,
be careful.
Now again, the good news is for us being long it is that the out point keeps rising. Okay, and the first pull off of the first day we pull off of limit, we'll have some trading action, but you could see eventually this is the reverse on the way down. But right now I can't give any levels, because right now they're bidding wheat tomorrow at limit up right now, and again they can change.
I saw on the continuous chart that the thing traded up to 14.25 a bushel, which is $1 above the all-time high.
Right. Well, again, and if you look at Minneapolis, wheat, it was in 08, it traded at $23.
Right. That's the spring. Yeah.
In the meantime,
by the way, consumers are panicking.
Yes, they are. Feeder cattle. Look, it had a bounce today. Again, to me, this is ugly. It's going lower. We're short. But again, not because we're short is ugly. It's ugly because when you start figuring it, when you figure out your budget, where you're going to spend your money. Okay, people at home, they're going to have to give up something. They're not getting up gasoline. They're not going to give up heat. Okay, they got to eat. So it's down to the next leg down, in my opinion, which is what I've said for months on RFD TV, that we were long cattle, long, look great, but then suddenly with oil dramatically spiking, that's got to have an effect. That's got to have the trickle down effect of now causing some heartburn for cattle. Okay.
Right, you're not gonna go out to eat. You're not gonna, you're gonna not eat steak. You'll eat a pork chop.
And you had a bounce here. We went straight down from about almost 170. You went to 157. You got a little bit of a bounce. Then we went to 151. You got a little bit of a bounce. I would be surprised tomorrow if you see it down limit again. Okay. So again, I'm not predicting. I'm just telling you we're short, and I think it's going lower. And although fat cattle looks better, live cattle, same thing. This is going lower. Again, it's a simple economics question. Okay, people, you have X amount of dollars to spend on food. Okay, well now a steak should be a much bigger part of your budget, especially with what the price of bread and everything else. What do you think the bread's going to go to, Andy?
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
I mean,
Hey, I just got a text from my brother in Australia. Can I read it to you?
yeah.
It says Russia is already cut off from CNN, Pornhub, and Google services. Now the United States is working to deprive the Russians of McDonald's and Coca-Cola. If these sanctions don't end soon, the Russians will soon become among the healthiest, balanced, and most informed people on the planet.
Only from your brother would that come. Oh man, Andy's brother's a genius too. So
he's an engineer in Australia.
So
he's so busy. You know what he does? He works on the railroads for he constructs the rail cars for coal, that's going from Australia to China. That business has been booming like you can't believe.
So again,
can't get enough.
At 138 resistance, okay, right where we're at, I think, and 134 will be the next support level. Okay, but I think they're going much lower. Hogs, the hogs have pulled back a little bit. Okay, but overall, okay, I think this is still a pretty healthy price at $100. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like, if I had to choose between pork and beef, yeah, it's pork. I mean, in terms
of,
I
think because I think it's going to have a greater demand.
Yeah.
And then it'll be chicken, right? Yeah. I mean, people want to get protein somewhere. Okay. In the meantime, in the hog market, I'd say you're right around $100. Okay. Okay. And I would say that, obviously 112, but right now I think 107 would be pretty solid resistance. And don't be surprised. I mean, this is a little bit of a rally today, which wasn't even a rally, but there's a little bit of a try to a rally. Look, you've been down limit. You were down, then down limit and down. You're going to get a pop here either way. Okay. Crude oil, God, disgusting. Okay. Again, this is way off base as far as an overall trend, but again, you can see what's happening. It's going higher. Okay. And these gaps are nothing. And certainly at some point you might expect a little bit of some consolidation or some sideways, and there will be a beat down one day. Okay. There'll be some news that'll everybody, okay, it's over. And boom, you'll see it go down $10. And of course it'll go back higher again. Until the energy policy of this country changes, okay, you're not going to see lower crude oil prices.
Yes. And look, when we make long-term, I know we go with trends and all that, but there are times where we talk about what we think, we say that we think beans will be looking down at the teens. We say things like that. In crude oil, I mean, the price was in the 30s when we both said $100 and probably all-time highs. And look at what's going on. Did we think that we thought it was all because of US energy policy. And you know what? Listen, this last spike is Russia, no question. But folks, this thing was going to 100 anyway because of what we did in the United States.
Mr. My buddy, the restaurant owner from New York, what is bakery goods now? What is bread? Has bread gone up in kind? Okay, just curious. Again, you would know because you buy it. So you buy it at the wholesale level. Not fresh yet. Okay, good.
I was consulting a couple of years ago with a Chicago company that makes all the buns for McDonald's,
right?
From Chicago out to California,
right?
The whole western half of the United States, and I begged them to put some hedges on and to keep them running. Just to protect the upside, because I said, one day you're going to wake up and wheat's going to, I said to them, one day you're going to wake up and wheat's going to be $8 or higher. And they were like, no, if it goes higher, it's fine. We'll just, we'll be competing, everyone we're competing against will have to raise their prices. You see, this is the reason that hedging is so important. Not just investment, but when you're in a business, you got to hedge it's insurance.
Yeah, that's what makes the airlines, most of them, silly that they don't hedge their oil anymore. I mean, this is like dumb. I mean, Herb Keller from Southwest figured it out a long time ago. In the meantime, 116 is support and then 108. And as far as upside, I mean, again, certainly we're going to test 132. Okay. But I think we agree, and we've said this for quite a while, we're going to all-time new highs.
Oh yeah. Hey, and I'll tell you, I was quoted in would $200 oil surprise me? No, 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 not at all in this environment. Listen, if the Russians sanction crude oil, this thing can scream.
Right. Did I miss gold? I'm not sure. We're long gold, so I don't know what you mean by you missed it. Okay. I mean, we're long gold.
It's
Okay.
$2,000 an ounce, and it's looking a lot.
Yeah, 108, 116. No, honey. It's 116 and 108 are the two support levels, and 130 is resistance. 108, 116 dash 130. Okay. Okay. So
And be careful in that market. Only approach it with a plan. Listen, Bubba told you what he did today. What he did made total sense.
I actually did it last night at 5 o'clock all the time.
Okay, but what he did made total sense, but he did it with a plan. Don't just go in there. And when it moves against you, listen, Bubba has discipline. If he sold it and it went up $1.50 and that was his stop, he was out. He was out.
100%.
I know he was out.
100%.
Right. You gotta, a lot of people's guts tell them, oh, no, the market's wrong. The market's never wrong.
The market is never. Yeah, we went over the gold chart, Russ, and again, I didn't look for the company handle. It's just going higher. Okay. But here, you want me to look for you real quick? Okay. I mean, yeah, that would be considered a company handle. Okay. Okay. So again, but I assume to see some consolidation. Okay. I mean, obviously there's events that could drive even higher, but assume to see some consolidation. Natural gas, yeah, it reached a peak. It met resistance. Okay. And of course, we're still long it. And certainly, again, it hasn't done anything to damage the overall long.
Right. And we must, one thing about natural gas, a very seasonal commodity. Natural gas has not been over 480 per MMBTU since 2008 in March. We're going into the injection season. We're going into the months where the weather is it's not too cold and it's not too hot, just like the Three Bears would say, the Little Red Riding. The weather's just right, and natural gas demand goes down. But you know what, folks? The natural gas market has changed dramatically. LNG shipments, the ability to ship LNG has changed natural gas from a U.S. domestic market into an international market, and the futures are starting to reflect that international flavor, and they're going to do that more and more. And this is significant. Natural gas at 480 in March, very significant.
So let me ask you a question. So would you use what if this goes higher, which it looks like it's going to? What would you say would be the highest it could go in your opinion?
This is a wild market. I mean, what was the
No, we know it's the Wild West, but again, just in your, again, this is just
double
like,
digits. Oh, double digits. 10,
Okay.
$15. Easy.
Okay.
Easy. This is a wild market. Where is it? By the way, the price in Europe is like $40.
Right.
You think oil is wild now? The natural gas gets going. Oh my God, that's a wild one.
Indeed it is. We saw it earlier this year. In the meantime, I would say, probably 460 as the major support level, and probably 560 to the upside. Again, you might think that's a big move, but it ain't that big when you get
It ain't
nuts.
that big. I was going to say, why so narrow?
when you get nuts in the world and you've got a terrible energy policy, it ain't that big.
Yeah.
Okay. Cocoa. Okay. Again, cocoa continues to, move back higher. We're short. Again, we short. Now we're seeing a little bit of a bounce. Now, again, this is kind of an interesting bounce because it's not necessarily a bearish area, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting market. It's a tough market for the way we follow trends because it has been making higher lows and higher highs, but the sell-offs are deep, and then the rallies are deep, are big. So you're getting buy signals at certain times. This is a tough market with the trend following systems. No question about it. Some are good, some are tough, and that's why it's a portfolio approach. But this one, I mean, overall, I see higher lows and higher highs.
No, there is no way to buy Lukoil is correct. I tried myself at a couple places today. I also tried to buy RSX today, which is the Russian ETF at $5. But anyways, I'd like to buy Russian bonds if I could find them. Anyways, we're short. I would suggest that probably 26.74 is going to be some resistance, and probably 25.28 is some support. We'll see. Again, I don't ever actively trade this market. This is one of the positions that we carry in our portfolio, and we've done very well with it. You got to suffer through the good and the bad. Eventually, it makes the move big enough for you to capitalize on. And when you get into consolidation patterns, it always sucks. Okay, cotton. We're short cotton, and it looks. Again, we're down to this 116 again. Okay, a key level. If it breaks there, I think you're probably looking at 110. Okay, and I think the resistance right now is about 120. Okay, so again, I think again, we're short. It looks like we're going a little bit lower, but again, these commodities and they start multiplying bullish areas all over the place. Okay, just because of what's going on everywhere else. It's kind of like almost in sympathy of. So, it's a scary time, but right now we are short. Okay, sugar, Sierra Bravo, and of course we're long sugar, and this is way too parabolic of a move. So assume that hope and assume that it consolidates up here and doesn't come all the way back down and fall.
This is very oil related.
Yeah, right. Why is it, again, I don't understand, and I know it's oil related, but why is it not much higher?
Well, it's double the price it was in March 2000.
No, I know. I'm not, look,
why is it not much higher? Listen, it went in 2011. I think it went to 30 cents roughly.
Yeah.
I think it will go much higher.
Crude oil has gone up almost 4 times.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm with you. Listen, I'm with you. I'm just asking. You would have a better idea. OJ, Oscar Juliet.
That dropped.
We're long, and it's even uglier when you're long to see this. Okay, this is. Is there anything going on in Brazil that's causing this big sell, or just a sell out of a sell? Because
I just think it's a sell off out of
it's a lightly traded commodity, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, look, we're long. We've done very well in OJ as well. It's just you have in some of these softs that are lightly traded, you have to suffer through some of the turbulent patterns which they create to get the big wins. And that's just I wouldn't actively trade this either. Okay. So coffee, again, coffee we're short. Okay. And again, it looks like it may be finding some support, around 224, 225. Again, right now, as it stands, I'd be a seller at 232. Okay, but again, the whole group of softs. The only one that would possibly be able to trade actively would be cotton. Okay, but I don't trade any of them actively. Okay, I think there's much better things to spend your time on than trying to trade those markets actively. What do you think?
I've always liked sugar the best because it's the most liquid.
Right. But I mean,
I like the liquidity, I'm a liquidity hound. Right. So for me, I know I could get in and out well in sugar, and that's why I've always favored it.
No, again, we trade them all, but I'm saying actively, would you day trade any one of them? Probably not.
Sugar. I have day traded sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I wouldn't.
Only because of the liquidity. I can get in and out on a point.
I don't day trade any of them, but okay, that's cool. Lumber. Okay. We're pushing up again. There you go. Again, what's going on lumber? Well, again, you got costs going crazy. You got, housing market falling again, which means, except in my area. Okay.
You got tariffs in Canada. You got, and a lot of lumber comes from it. And by the way, who's one of the biggest timber producers in the world? Oh, Russia.
Yeah. Again, natural timber is at all-time highs. Look, you've got all kinds of things going on. Okay. And none of it's good. Okay. And that's why you're seeing ridiculous prices. And that's why you're paying $400,000 for a $200,000 house now. Okay. I mean, this is just, again, it's the innate value of dollars. Okay. So in the meantime, look, lumber's going higher. It's just a benchmark. We would never trade it. I mean, obviously somebody that trades 200 contracts a day would be kind of hard to trade. Okay. So any last minute thoughts before we go into part 2 of our call, sir?
Yeah, I heard an interesting story from, who Art Cashin is? The guy on CNBC, right?
I love Art Cashin. Yeah, he's supposed to be one of the greatest analysts that actually really tells it like it is.
Yes, he's about 90 years old. He told a great story. He said that in 1961, I think it was 61. He said he was a junior guy on the floor of the exchange. And all of a sudden, there was a rumor. This is during the Cuban Missile Crisis. There was a rumor that Russian bombs were headed towards the U.S. And everyone started selling. He started selling. His boss came over to him, pulled him by the neck. He said to him, "Listen, if the rumor is false, this market's going to scream. And if the rumor is true, we're all dead. So start buying."
And that's the truth.
I thought that was a great story.
Isn't that the truth? Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I loved him. He was the one guy I always felt worth watching on CNBC.
Yeah.
Okay. He has his own booth. He's got a name on his booth at the restaurant. So anyways, I've met him a couple of times. In the meantime, all right, so we're going to stop this recording. This is the end of the pregame. We're going to come back with the actual Monday night call. So let me just stop this recording. Okay, and then we'll go to part 2 of our marathon. Okay. And what's up? Anybody who's just recently come in, as you've noticed, obviously we've extended this call to a marathon, and the actual Monday portion starts at about 5:30 Eastern now. In the meantime, we got a lot of stuff going on. We've been talking about a lot of bad things, and it's unfortunate because we do live in the greatest country in the world, and they're as they say, Andy, they're turning it into kasha.
Yep, kasha.
And not very good. Okay. In the meantime, somebody sent me this. I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, it's sad, but it's pretty funny as well. Okay. I mean, regular gas laughing out loud. Oh my God, what the F? And of course, bend over. We provide KOA jelly with when you buy gas. I mean, I got to tell you, I think that is, but it is true. It's sad, but true, which is a problem.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Well, our genius administration is out in Vienna negotiating with Iran to get more barrels.
Oh my God! How about
Russia's ally? And then this weekend we're down with Venezuela. We're negotiating. What are we doing?
How about that?
What are we doing?
How about that? Ukraine. I mean, Iran and Iraq. I mean, really?
How about that?
I'll tell you something. This is the problem. Okay. Again, you might have hated President Trump, but none of this would have happened under his watch, nor did it. Okay. So again, if you're happy, God bless you. Okay. But to me, I liked it better when there was law and order in this country. Okay. And we ain't got that now for sure. And of course, our next hedging class starts a week from tomorrow. If you're not hedging, shame on you. What do I care? I mean, I'm already hedging and people already learned it. So those who know it and use it, love it. And you want to continue to sweat out the market and hope, hey, good for you. Okay. And of course, all of our public servants, we always thank you every week because again, it's a thankless job that you put your risk on the line every day for us. And that's what allows us to speak freely for now. Okay. And continue, but thank you. As always, we always salute you. Police, fire, military, families, veterans, all of you. Again, thank you so much. It's great to be a part of you. And of course, as I give you my thoughts, Shell limits some heating oil sales in Germany as shortages develop. Where is this headed, Andy?
Oh my God.
Okay. Where is this headed? Okay.
Pump it. Just pump it here.
I mean, unbelievable. Okay. Russian gold barred from world's largest exchange, gold market. Think about this for a minute. Okay. What does that do to the price of gold? Okay. What should that do automatically to the price of gold, Andy?
It should send it much higher, but
I mean,
but you know what? They can't all Russian gold. All you have to do is re-pour it. I mean, gold is fungible. Gold is gold.
I'm not. You and I understand it, but I'm telling you, this is what people will read in a headline.
By the way, you know what? That's very good news. I want to open a Swiss refinery because then you can just make gold bars from Russian gold. This is bullshit. I'm sorry.
And besides the fact that they can sell it anyways. I mean, what do you don't think there's a black market in this world?
Of course there is, and they don't even need a black market. They just sell it to China.
Right. They've been exchanging gold with China through blockchain for I don't know how many years now. Okay. Nigel Farage launches new movement to reverse Britain's ruinous green agenda. Okay. It's about time somebody spoke up. Okay. I mean, again, you can talk about the climate change and all this stuff all you want, but as long as China and India exist with 36% of the world and getting bigger, okay, the pollution is not going to stop. And again, I don't believe in the global warming cycle anyways. Again, I've been on the fence, but after talking to a couple of scientists in the last couple of weeks, and I mean, not just getting their opinion, but going deep into it and looking at some of the things they showed me, I think it's just part of the natural cycle of life anyways. Okay. But again,
But then again, you're not AOC.
well, yeah. Steve Forbes outlines basically things Biden should do to curb inflation. Now, it's always nice when you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, okay, and you become Steve Forbes, you can talk nonsense, okay, because at the end of the day, okay, we don't need to tell him. There's one thing he can do to correct 90% of the problems.
Pump oil.
Yes. Gee, that was a hard question. That was like a trick question.
It's
Okay.
2 words.
What's he going to do? I mean, open up the wells. That's it. It's that simple. But God forbid they would ever think of doing that. Okay. And of course, we always.
By the way, we need not only do we need to pump oil, we need a new oil deal where we basically take people out of other industries and put them into the oil industry and make them pump oil. That's what we need to do.
I'm with you. Look, oil is a booming industry. And I remember when they first started the big shale producing in North Dakota, you couldn't they were making $100,000 and you couldn't find any place to live. Guys were driving 100 miles to go to work to find it.
Right.
And it only expanded from there.
You can put the price of oil at $80 a barrel tomorrow by symbolically saying, okay, I'm reversing the oil policy.
That's correct.
$80. I'm telling you, take $40 off the price.
Listen, oil should be at $30 a gallon, and we should be profiting from exporting it, okay, and taking care of the ridiculous debt that we're building. But God forbid.
By the way, you want to really hurt Putin and Saudi Arabia? Pump oil.
Yeah, well, they don't want to do that. Globalists don't like to do those kind of things. The words of wisdom from Connie: give people permission to make mistakes and the obligation to learn from them. It's just nothing could ever be truer. Okay. I mean, again, now, unfortunately, the administration ain't learning from no mistakes. They keep making more. They're compounding in reverse. Okay. And our State of the Union, war does not determine who is right, only who is left. And think about that, right? War is only good for one thing. It's good for business after it's over. Okay. I mean, that. Why do people want wars? Because it rebuilds the rebuilding process. Okay. But wars are good for nothing. Okay. And we have to, part of being defending your nation is not to go to war. But again, you've got, you got a guy that doesn't care right now. And many, many innocent people are getting killed for no reason. Okay.
Einstein said that World War III will be fought with nuclear weapons and World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. It is a scary thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
And of course, I've been bitching for years, but when the world gives up control of power, it creates chaos. Is that not correct?
Yep.
Do we not have chaos? And we did it again. They did it to make a point, to try to get an agenda through, which was a dumb agenda to begin with. And even if you want to if you're a believer in climate change and you're a believer in trying to end fossil fuels, fine. But you can't stop it in one day and say that we're doing it now. They couldn't get this green energy in for 10 years, no matter what they do.
It's a 40-year plan at least that's done in baby steps. I understand why we'd want to do that, but we have to do it. It's a decades-long plan. That's the only way to approach this. And you have to be very strong in the traditional fuels to subsidize it. By the way, if we were pumping oil and we were leading the world, we'd have plenty of money in tax revenue to fund the green energy,
right,
if we did it the right way.
Why do we not pump? What is Biden's reason? Well, first of all, it's really not Biden. He don't know where he's at half the time. But the progressives, listen, they want globalism. They don't want what we have. They've already made it clear they don't want capitalism anymore. Okay. They don't want you to have this dream and desire to go out and build and be the next Steve Jobs or Bezos or Elon Musk. Okay. That's why. Okay. It's that simple. I mean, it isn't complex. Okay. It's very simple. Okay. They don't give a shit about you. That's the bottom line. Okay. Anyways, Back to the
There's no
markets.
religion in communism.
Yeah, back to the markets. Okay. The YM, Yankee Michael, okay, which we are short. Okay. And again, good thing, right? The trend is lower. It came right up to resistance and failed again. And now, boom, we're headed to a new level. You know, to me, I'd look at this and you're probably, again, I believe this week, at some point, you're going to get a rip your face off rally. Okay. Which will just be a reason to sell, give me an opportunity to sell. Now, I would be looking right now at about 33.5 to be a seller. Okay. Support is right about where it closed today. Okay. But overall, again, I think we're going lower. I think we're going below 30,000. I think we're going much lower, much lower. But again, there will be, remember, in bear markets, in true bear markets, there will be massive rallies that look so good you can't believe you're not in. And of course, that's just an opportunity, especially if you're hedging, to roll up your basis and collect some cash and get some more stock. So meantime, for now, for today, 32,000 to 33,500. Okay. And then in the S&P, Echo Sierra, again, broke down again farther, came right out of consolidation, bang, right to the downside. And fortunately, it was on very light volume, which means that it was a very orchestrated, organized sell-off. For my money, I would be looking at 4,300 potentially. Again, remember, you're going to get a big rally here at some point, but 4,120 to 4,300. Okay. Now, excuse me. If you think that was a big range, we had a 125 or 140 point move today. So it's not such a big range. Okay. And which we're still short. The NASDAQ, which we're still short. Again, same, they all had the same pattern. No matter where they were up against resistance. They all failed. Okay. And we have one long remaining, which is the Russell, which I don't think it'll be long tomorrow. But again, I don't know. But still, look at that. It is, out of the devastation, has been the best performer. Okay. For me, I'd be saying something the same thing as I said last week, 1900 to 2080. Okay. So that's what these look like. And of course, the VIX continues to grind higher, which is, we have not seen a VIX move like this in a long time. Okay. This is with no panic. This is a straight regular trend. Okay. Which has every indication of going higher and making new highs in the VIX. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised to see the VIX at 80.
Yeah. I mean, at this rate,
the next spike could be real nasty.
Right. At this rate, the way that it's climbing steadily is much more powerful than the spikes that you see. Okay. The gradual rally means that more firms are shorting. There's more shorting going on than you really realize right now. Even if they're telling you on TV they're buying this thing and they believe in it, they're selling the crap out of it. Okay?
And remember, in crazy markets, option volatility can very easily go to over 100%. And in a really wild market, this VIX can do that.
Right. You're right, Connie. I did not give you a NASDAQ. My apologies. I got ahead of myself. Okay. NASDAQ would be 14,000 resistance, 13,000. We'll probably hold it at least for a moment. Okay. 13,000, 14,000. Okay. And again, if you think it's a big move, today's move was almost 600 points. So ain't that big. Okay. And the VIX, as I said, it's in a nice solid uptrend. So as we look at our stocks, okay, Apple, Alpha Papa Lima, okay, which we are short. Okay. Now, again, is Apple a good company? Yeah, it's a good company. Okay. Would I buy it here? No. But I mean, if I was in a hedge, I could buy it here. But certainly I would wait for a better area to buy it. I mean, to me, you're looking at 155 to 165 on Apple. Okay. And potentially lower. And again, Apple can easily go back to 120 as well as it can go to 180. But it's in a downtrend. And you can see the downtrend as clear as those on your face. Okay. It is headed lower. Okay. So why try to fight it? Yeah, they're a great company, but you have no benefit from trying to fight a trend that is going lower. So if you're not hedged, try to wait for it. If you're hedged, try to wait for a better level. But you can always, if you're hedging, you can always buy it anytime. But you should never be in a rush to buy any stock. Okay. If you're in a rush, you're buying it off of an emotional move, not the actual market move. Okay. Anyway, 155 to 165, AG, Alpha Golf. And again, this is exactly the reason that we own this. Okay. It's in one of our portfolios for this particular reason. is if it goes down, it's not that big a deal. It doesn't hurt as much, but if it can go up and it can start to fly. And we tried to get through 1250 today. And it looks to me, my new levels here will be 12 to 14, 12 to 14. Okay. And we are long. Okay. AMD, Alpha, Michael, Delta, which we are short. Okay. And notice how it got up to our top resistance level we talked about last week, and bang, it's falling apart and now broken back to the downside again. Okay. And again, this sell-off's a little bit steep. Okay. Certainly, I would expect it to stay in that little channel that it's in. Okay. So again, there'll be a rally here at some point. Okay. But from as far as looking at for entry points, right now I'd be looking at 112 or 116 as resistance. And right now, the only support I can show here is about 99 to 100. Okay, we're so close to that. Okay, if you go back in here, that should be some support. But if it gets through there, it could drop 10% in a heartbeat. Okay, so 100 to 112, 116 on the upside. Okay, Bravo Alpha, and of course this is breaking the downside again too after holding and Charlie Munger increasing his position. And of course, they have enough money, they can sit and hold forever. Okay. But this looks pretty ugly. Okay. And it's breaking down. Okay. What do you think of the Chinese stocks, Andy?
They look terrible. I mean, this Russian thing and his alliance, the investors are spooked. Sanctions, all this kind of stuff. And even if there's no sanctions or anything like that, the Chinese could say, screw you to the US stock exchange. There's a lot of risk here. The trend is lower. I'm more comfortable short than long.
Right. I agree. Okay. In the meantime, I don't even know where the next levels you're looking at are probably 90. Okay. 90 to 110. 90 to 110.
What is Munger doing?
What's that, babe?
What is Charlie Munger doing?
They're buying supposedly. I don't know. I don't know if they're still bought today, but I mean, they've been buying. They bought more.
They bought more in Q4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they bought more in the first quarter too. Bido.
He's sucking wind.
Well, what do they care? They got plenty of money. They don't worry about it. That's the difference between a normal person and those guys. They're the only ones who could buy Goldman Sachs at 140 and hold it till 20 and not shed a tear. Okay. In the meantime, Bido, again, we have not made a trade here yet. We're getting closer. Okay. This is a way, if you want to play Bitcoin, this is a way to play it. I'm still trying to get a feel for how it reacts. What I really want to make sure is that we don't get screwed on an ETF that is directly correlated to a future like you did if you owned USO or those types that screw you because they don't understand the backwardation and contango patterns that affect dramatically and they don't know how to account for them. Okay. And they'd rather steal your money than account for them. So in the meantime, again, if you want to buy Bitcoin, this is a way to play it. This is directly correlated to the future. But looking at possible levels, 22 is probably 22 to 28. Okay. Very similar type range to that in Bitcoin itself. And of course, BitQ, which is just nothing more than a Bitcoin soup of a bunch of miners and things together. Okay. And now we don't own this anywhere either, but it is one that we watch. And certainly you're really in a consolidation pattern, very similar to Bitcoin itself. Again, $14, $13. This is really, you're saying to yourself, I want to play the cryptocurrency, but I don't want to go open a wallet. Okay. But Tradier will be having cryptocurrencies very soon. Okay. Which will be part of your brokerage account. So it's a pretty big deal. Okay. So anyways, 13 to 17 would be reasonable ranges. Again, I wouldn't be a seller. I'm only a buyer of these things, if I'm going to trade them at all. Okay. And Chewy, Charlie Hotel Whiskey Yankee, okay, which we are long, and it's sparked up to the top. It's kind of been consolidation. It's very important for us that it holds the low it's at right now if it's going to continue. We're kind of mid-range between the top and the recent tops and bottoms. Great company, but again, just because they're a great company doesn't mean they have to go up tomorrow. Okay, and Andy and I both use them. So in the meantime, for today, I would use 40 as support. Okay. And I think you're probably 40 to 48 is probably the levels to watch. Okay. Coin, Charlie Oscar India November. And again, another relationship to Bitcoin, but actually better than Bitcoin because they the bookmaker. Okay. We're short. And of course, Coinbase is the brokerage house. And of course, they suffer when the market is going down because the volume and their profits dry up when the market's going down. Okay. So that's what you see in the crypto space. In the meantime, this is pretty big. If it hold here, pretty big consolidation, 160 to 210. It looks like it could break through, but again, we'll see. And this will correlate more or less to Bitcoin. Okay, and Andy and I both own it. So, and we're short in the portfolio. Though. Okay, so we'll see what it looks like. Again, it's more of a play on Bitcoin, and obviously, if you want to take a lesser expensive shot, then there are other ways to play it. And again, I was fooled. We don't cover this anymore, but I was fooled. They trapped me again. And these pot stocks, again, they're just going to zero. That's it. It's official. They're not going to legalize marijuana federally until the big guys are ready. DraftKings got smacked after having a nice little pop, got smacked today. Okay. And, it got smacked just in time after we got long it. Okay. But here we are. Down, we're in a wide consolidation, like 18 to 24. Okay. I think that you're right, Andy. This is going to be in play. And from my words, from talking to people in Las Vegas, okay, some of the executive types, they're looking, they have to expand their business into the menu types that these outside services offer. So I think what you're going to see is, this and Penn will probably be takeover candidates.
Yeah, why not? You pick up the names for pennies on the dollar, and you pick up the fantasy
the names, the technology, and everything.
Fantasy, they do have a monopoly on the fantasy, and that's very good. That's very attractive. So I think when it gets taken out a multiple at this price, but we'll see.
I mean, again, we could be wrong because we thought it was going to be bigger. And again, the mistake I made in not recognizing it was, again, we'll call it the acquisition cost. Okay, they're caught, but my key thinking here, just so you understand, Johnny Avello, who runs DraftKings, was the bookmaker at the win. Okay, so that's interesting. Anyway, so we're going to call 17 to 24. Okay, Facebook. Of course, we're short, so it's okay. It continues to get ripped. Okay, and not a lot of fans of Zucker, anyway. So
I think that's the only thing that the U.S. and Russian government agree on.
I mean, again, we're short. We've been short this forever, and it looks like it's breaking down to new levels. And I have to go back a long time to find any reasonable support. We're going a couple of years ago, basically. So.
I think it's halved in value.
Yeah, I think you're looking at probably, in my eyes, 180 will be the next potential support. We're short. I'd rather be a seller at 200 or 210. Okay, so it's kind of 180 to 200, honey. First Solar, Foxtrot, Sierra, Lima, Romeo. Oh, Solar's coming back. Anyways, we're long this. We were shorted all the way down. We now are long. It's now stuck in a range, and it's up against some key numbers here. To me, you're probably looking at 77 resistance, okay, and 67 support, and we'll see if it breaks through. I mean, we're long, so obviously we think it's going to break through. I could make a case for either, but we're long, and I'll tell you that we're just long. And again, I wouldn't jump in and be a buyer right at this moment if I didn't already own it, okay, but I would certainly look to buy pullbacks until it proves different. And I think the first pullback will probably be around 71 or so. Okay, but again, overall 67 to 77. What does DraftKings become? When does DraftKings become like AAL? Well, not for quite a while, and I'll tell you why. Okay, AAL, I don't ever believe the travel industry is coming back. Okay, I do not believe that travel as we remember it is ever coming back. I think the business travel will kill these guys, not to mention the high cost of oil now, but I never thought that it was that big a deal. Anyways, I never thought that AAL or any of the airlines had that type of multiple potential. Okay. So once it broke down and then we had COVID, I could see obviously that it was no longer, in my opinion, there's going to be no more travel industry the way we remember it. and business travel is going to be much lessened. Okay, which means much less profit for the airlines because business travelers overpaid for everything. Okay, that's also the hotel industry as well. Okay. DraftKings, the gambling business, is booming. Okay, and although DraftKings is overinvested from an acquisition cost based on percents of profit they can make, it's still growing and it's still opening. And they've still got, I think they're in 30 states. They still got 20 states to go, including California. It'll be a ways before I give up on DraftKings. Okay. So again, that's my view of it. That's to answer your question. Okay. GDX. Well, again, we said great way to play gold if you want to play it. And certainly it just continues to go higher. We're long it as well.
The miners are always, look, the miners outperform on the upside. They underperform on the downside. That's just the way these miners go. GDX is a portfolio, so it diversifies idiosyncratic risk away from management specific properties. GDX, listen, it's not surprising. This is just gold on steroids.
None whatsoever. And the only thing I can look at today, and I'm not going to make this trade because to me it's not a active enough stock for me in general. But if I'm looking at this, I go, this could be a potential blow off. Again, remember I showed you in gold that the parabolic move is a little bit too steep. It's got to either come back a little bit or go sideways for a while. So I'm not going to make this trade because it's just not a big enough trade for me. But I can see a potential blow off here to the upside, which would mean that maybe we'll consolidate.
Yeah, the gold market, Bubba, the gold market's such a liquid market. It trades very well.
Right.
It does what it's supposed to do often. It makes a new high, then it comes off. We got up to 1970, then we came back down to just under 1900. Now we went up to 2000 and change. Gold is a very liquid market. It trades well.
100%. Goldman Sachs, which will so short, has broken down.
Hey, gold, by the way, gold is a lot better than the currency markets,
Oh,
which tells you a lot about the currencies.
yeah, 100%. Goldman Sachs were short and it continues to break down. And now tomorrow is going to be a pretty key day in this. And again, we could see the rip your face off rally tomorrow. But if this continues to break further, it's going down. We're already short, but it's going lower. And I don't see any real support, probably about 300. Okay.
And this stock can go way down. These people, Goldman is going to continue to make a shitload of money, but right. The stock is going to, it's a high beta stock. It's going to go in the market.
Listen, they make a fortune and so does JP Morgan, but the stocks still react to the market. And of course, people still react to the stock. So, in the meantime, 330, okay, to 300. Okay. IWM, India Whiskey Michael, which we're still long. And again, this is just kind of in the middle of nowhere. It peaked and it fell, but it did not fall as hard, and it has not broken through its bottom end as the others have. But I would not be surprised. Again, I don't know yet. I would not be surprised if this reverses tomorrow, but right now it still is long. And right now it would be 190, okay, to 200. Okay. And
the Russell really underperformed the rest of the market during the big rally last year.
Right.
So it's not a surprise that it's outperforming right now. There's bigger issues than the fact that the administration doesn't support small business.
You're right, Kai. I'm slipping. I must be getting the Biden disease. 36 as a bottom end support. 40 should be some resistance. 36 to 40. My bad. You're 100% right. I did it again.
Well, better to have the Biden disease than the Harris disease.
Mara, Michael Alpha, Romeo Alpha, we are still short. And again, it appears to be right for now. 25 is a pretty solid resistance level. And I think we'll probably see 20. And my local expert who trades this every day says sell the rallies. Okay. And has not changed the thoughts on that yet. So in the meantime, this is 20 to 26. We are short. Okay. NIO, again, another Chinese stock, EV, going to the toilet. They got earnings in a couple of weeks. Look, and we're short. Okay. And I don't see any covering coming soon. Okay. And, right now I would say 20 would be a great spot to sell some. There is no support. Okay. Resistance at 20.
China's brand is not good with U.S. investors. That's the bottom line.
Goldman Sachs is profitable in every department, like a casino. They don't miss anything. They make money everywhere. Okay. Nugget, November Uniform Golf Tango, same thing as GDX and Gold. Now, again, this has like, again, now this would be one, and I am not recommending that you get shorted. We're long it. Okay. I'm just saying that if I was looking for a trade and didn't want to trade the actual future, I might look here. Okay. This is an awfully sharp move. Okay. But again, it's going higher. Okay. Overall, we're long, and I would say probably 68 is support. And if it doesn't hold there at 64, okay, and going up, there is really no dramatic resistance yet. Okay. And this is definitely gold on steroids, as Andy says, because again, when you look at this, I mean, the overall value since its inception is ridiculous. Okay. And the moves are nuts because again, it will multiply faster. It doesn't trade like a normal stock. It multiplies. There's a multiplier underneath it that makes it move even faster.
And on a short-term basis, GDX is like 2x gold. This thing is like 4x gold.
Right. You're right. NVIDIA, November Victor Delta Alpha. Okay. Which we're short. And again, here we are testing the bottom end. Okay. Now we'll see. Again, this has been one hell of a performer. Okay. And with it split and everything, it got up to what, 600 or 700, I think, or 800, whatever it was, ridiculous number. Now it's in a downtrend. So now we're going to see, okay, and this is, related to the chips and everything. And I would say 200 to 245. We are short. So again, I have no intentions of covering anytime soon. Okay. Penn, wow. I knew it was down. I didn't realize it was that much today. But again, Penn falls into the same category as DraftKings. It's Barstool Sports. That's the racing industry. It's a big, huge business for them. And that's what brought all these big purses in. But again, they did the same thing that others did. They overvalued the acquisition cost. And of course, the overvalue of acquisition creates a problem because they don't have the ability to make a big score. Okay. They have the ability to make little bits of money all the time, but they don't have the ability to make one big score because again, they're working on a 5% edge. Okay. In the meantime, okay, we're short anyways, so it's all good. I would say 38 is probably going to come into play here. Okay. And I would think that probably 50 on the upside. Okay. 38 to 50. The Qs, Quebec, and we're short here. And of course, again, it looks like we're going to test these bottoms at about 320. Okay. And that should be relatively easy. And it looks to me like this is probably 320 to 340, but I'm not a buyer at any price right now. Okay. But 320 to 340. Okay. Riot, another Bitcoin play. We don't carry this anywhere, but again, if you're looking for a spot, if you're dead set and want to play the crypto world, okay, this is a potential spot for you to play. Again, this is going to go up. If Bitcoin goes back flying, this is going to go back up. Now, this was down as low as $6 when we started covering it. It got up to 85 or so. And it used to be over Mar, it's not under. But again, if you're looking for an inexpensive way to gamble, that would be something you might want to look at. And by the way, crude opened up at 120.87, okay, which is up about $1.45 from the close. Roku, Romeo Oscar Kilo uniform, which we remain short. And again, it made a little bit of a pop as we saw last Monday. And I said, well, let's see what happens. It's probably headed lower. And sure enough, here we go. I think that the key here is going to be if it gets back to 100 again, how does it react at 100? And if it goes through 100, it could be at 75 in no time. Okay, this has been nothing but straight down. If you look at it since, it peaked at, up near, I think we're near about 400 or 500. Okay. So again, right now it's just going south. Okay. And each and every day is more selling and more selling and more selling. So for today, I say 100 to 130. Okay. And Square Dance, Sierra, Quebec. Okay. Now this unfortunately got as long, okay, after being short for so long, and now it peaked and it's failing. Okay. Now I heard somebody today in the chat room saying, hey, I'm looking for level. Listen, I think Squares are going to be a great company. I think it's going to be a big winner. I think it's going to take some pain to get there. Okay. But if you're going to hedge it, I think it's a good trade. It's a good play. But right now for today, I think 90 is going to be resistance and probably 110, 90 support, 110 resistance. Okay. And I would not be surprised if the algorithm comes up with a reverse here as well. Okay. The SPY, Sierra Papa Yankee, which we are short, of course. And again, this is breaking down key level here. Okay. And now you're almost guaranteed to test the bottom at 410. Again, there is no guarantees, but that would be very much in the cards. And I think you're looking here from 430. Excuse me. Yeah. 430 to 410, 440, right in that neighborhood. Okay. And again, I think it's, I think we'll see how it trades at 410 if it gets there. Tango, Quebec, which you don't carry anymore, but we watch it here. Again, this is the NASDAQ on steroids, and naturally it's getting hammered. Okay. And this is going to continue. And the work, when these things, when these vehicles, these leverage ETFs, which is why you have what you said, a 10-day or 2-week limit.
I have a 2-week limit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's because when they start going opposite the direction of what they're based on, so this is based on being long QQQ, the devastation to the downside gets bigger and bigger, because then they act not only as the stock and a leverage of the stock, but they also act as a big option. So they also decay out, and it's harder to get. I will say
this. Yeah, I will say this. The one thing that I do factor in is that my 2-week limit is definitely on longs. On shorts, I would, be more willing to extend it.
Russ, is that a question, or is that you think that's going to happen? Okay. I think that the options were pricing in a limit up move, which is 135 tomorrow. So, but we won't know that till we'll be gone. But 7 o'clock tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Anyways, so the Qs, the TQQs, 40 might be some support, and 50 is resistance. But certainly, I'm only looking to sell this puppy. Okay, Tesla, as I said, it looked pretty bad, and we're now hovering around the bottom end again. And you've made a new level of resistance. I think you're looking at probably 880 resistance, and I think now this 680 or so or 700 is going to come in play. So to me, 700 to 880. The VIXI, Victor X-ray, which we said a couple of weeks ago, probably a good spot to take a gamble on it. Okay, and look what happened, Andy. Okay,
yeah.
And again, this works the same way off of a multiplier. Okay, and certainly what could happen here, look, if they start going, this thing could be at $40 in a heartbeat. In fact, on the Saturday options call, we have a position here, and I said no more rolling of the VXX. Let it go. Okay, you've made money. We've made a lot of money on it. Let's let it rip and not roll it up anymore. Let's take full advantage of the move if we're right, and we have a chance to really make a score here. In the meantime, we are long it in the portfolios. 26 is support, and resistance wise, probably not anything really till 35. Okay. And again, the more it stays in this trending type action, the bigger the move is going to be and the better it's going to be. Okay. Win, Whiskey Yankee, November. My goodness, what happened to Win? They were so happy and so exciting. Now we're shorted, so we're happy. But look at this. Look at this breakdown from the support level. Okay. Look at this collapse.
China.
What's that, babe?
China.
China? Sure. It's China. It's overall industry, it's competition, it's overpriced, and this is what you get. Okay. Macau is big. I wonder what's Las Vegas Sands. Hold on, I'm gonna check it in 1 second. Anyways, Connie, right now there is no support, resistance at 80. Okay. Let me just look at LBS real quick because I just want to see, because that's a good point. Okay. China, right? And Las Vegas Sands got pummeled as well.
Boom.
Macau is a big player for them. So this whole situation is affecting these casinos very big. Okay.
Well, the Chinese foreign minister, I think, said today that we better not invite Taiwan into any blocks.
Right. Anyways, XBI again continues to head lower. We don't care anywhere, and here it is, key spot at about 83. Okay, I think it's going below 81. I think it's going lower. I think this is breaking down as well. And Zoom was actually higher at one point today before failing again. And although we don't cover anymore, we would be short still, and it's continuing to just get pummeled. And again, I think this is like Roku. If it gets below 100, it's probably going to 75. Okay. Again, the excitement of the COVID crisis and all that stuff is over. And now they're getting back to what real valuation should be. And I think that's what you're going to see. So it looks pretty ugly. And wheat, I gotta see what you're saying on wheat here. Hold on a second. Let's just pull this up real quick. Wheat. Oh, bid 1424. There you go. Yeah. They're showing bid 1424. Well, I said the options market showed, okay. Yeah, the option market is showing 1440. Okay, there you go. So don't be surprised if wheat opens up lemon again tonight. Okay, negative, whether it's going to hold that, I don't know. But again, at some point it's going to pull back. But in the meantime, it wants to continue to go higher. Okay. ESH February low 41.53. May 21st open. Okay, 41.55. We're going below there. I think. I think we're going much below all that. I think there'll be a 3 handle in front of this pretty soon. Okay. So we'll see. Again, I don't make predictions. We're short. The market looks awful. Okay. And if anybody's got any quick stocks you want me to look at, I'll be happy to do so. But again, this is what we're watching. This is our business. We're trying to make sure, listen, we want to give everybody the best education that we can, because in this world of investing, it's treacherous. Wouldn't you agree?
It is more than treacherous. No question about it.
ADM.
Remember, by the way, remember this, anything that's up, the limit 7 days in a row can be down the limit 7 days in a row.
Right. ADM kind of peaked today at about 86 or 88.
Don't count those chickens until they hatch.
Until you take the money.
Right. Until you take it off the table.
I mean, this looks really good, but again, I wouldn't be such a big fan. I mean, I would much rather be a buyer an ADM if I'm going to buy somewhere around 80. Okay. To me, this has got to come back a little bit, but you are seeing obviously the result of commodities. So not a surprise. Okay.
Right.
XLU
doing the same thing.
What's that, babe?
Bungie is doing the same thing. BG.
Hold on. I'll put it up there.
Same thing.
Bravo Golf. Yeah. I mean, again, you've got these, because again, you've got crazy moves and these guys are making money, making bank off all this. XLU. This is the utilities ETF. Wow. Okay. Now, this also tells you what, there's fear in the market. When they start going to utilities, that's another sign of fear. Okay. I mean, I couldn't be a buyer this year. I mean, I would never trade this anymore. We traded it once, but from personally, but it's a dividend payer and certainly it's skyrocketing. I mean, to me, if I were going to even think about getting in, I'd want to see either it go sideways for a while and find a new level of support, or for now, 69.50. Okay. Workday, Whiskey Delta. Are they getting hurt because of Phil Mickelson? No, they are getting a little waxed. I mean, basically, I look at this as a stock that is an overall downtrend right now. And I look at this in a consolidation range, 250, 220, okay, maybe lower. I think this will be the key. If it takes this low out here, it's probably going below this one. Okay, so I don't see any reason to jump in and buy it. Oil plays, gas stations, or drillers. I don't know what to play now. I mean, again, the horse is kind of out of the barn, right? If you haven't been long oil with us all along, you're getting to a point now where the risk reward is starting to reverse the other way. Not that we can't go a lot higher, but you had chances to buy Occidental Petroleum at $12. Okay, it's probably 40 now. Mosaic, I haven't looked at this in 20 years.
Fertilizer, that thing is.
This has got to be. Last time I looked at
Cleveland Cliffs.
I'm gonna say it's in the 40s.
Cleveland Cliffs, all of them, they're all.
Oh my God, 60s. My God, look at it go.
Yeah.
I'm sure Caterpillar's through the roof too, right? Cat.
Not so much.
No, that's a little struggle. Okay, well, machinery, that's the bad part of their business right now.
No, Cleveland Cliffs is the other one that's.
Yeah, well, that's CCL. What is it? CLF.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember when this was $1 or $2.
Hey, Fertz, man, Fertz till it hurts.
I'm telling you. Okay, Lockheed Martin, Capitone. What's up, Private? How are you? Lockheed's got to be higher, I would suspect. Yeah, I mean, look, defense stocks in this market.
I mean, all of them. Lockheed Martin.
Who's the other? General Dynamics.
Yeah, General Dynamics, Raytheon.
Yeah, I mean,
they're all flying.
They're gonna listen. These are like guns, right? When they're going to be in trouble with guns, like gun mark.
The neocons and the neolibs are going to pump money into these, and they're going to get their payouts.
So, HSIC, Hotel Sierra India, Quebec. I mean, Charlie. Hotel Sierra India, Charlie. I mean, this looks pretty good. I mean, this it looks like a solid chart. Henry Schein, I remember looking at this years ago. I mean, it's consolidating on an uptrend, getting ready to take off. I could be a buyer around here somewhere if I traded it. I haven't traded it, but for years. Boeing? No, I don't know. I haven't looked at Boeing since the big debacle. Oh, wow. Look, Boeing, I think Boeing goes in line with my thought on American Airlines. Okay. They're still going to need to make planes, but I think you've seen, and I think those, my airline pilots here, especially Kevin, will verify that there's a lot less flights going on right now.
There's too much of a hybrid between the airline industry and the defense industry. If you want to play defense, play defense.
Right. And I think Boeing is again, they're going to continue to manufacture planes, but it's a competitive business. And now there's less planes to make, I think. In fact,
yeah, I mean, I think in this environment, defense stocks are the real defense stocks. Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, those are, listen,
right.
they're going to make a lot of money because they're going to get a lot of contracts.
Yeah, no, this is not a defense stock. Okay. And okay, two more. Microsoft, Michael Sierra, Foxtrot, Tango. Ash, it's past your bedtime. You're awfully late tonight, sir. Yeah, it looks okay. I mean, it looks weak. It looks like it's breaking down, but it's not as bad as others. I mean, pretty good company, but certainly, remember one thing: when they really decide to give this market a beating, there will be no safe. Everything will be in jeopardy. Okay, that risk on, risk off BS is ridiculous. Schlumberger, the slobs. Yes, I used to trade that. That was one of the first stocks I ever traded.
That's doing well.
On the floor.
Real well.
Yeah, I mean, this is for this is a lot of big move, but it doesn't move very much. Okay. But
yeah, I take a look at the OIH, Bubba, because that holds them all the oil services.
Sure.
That's Schlumberger, Halliburton, all of that stuff. That's I like that because it's diversified.
Now, again, if I were trading this as a trader trade, I'd be looking worse about the short these. I don't trade these, but for a day trade or a couple of days, I'd look to short. This is a blow off top for now.
Yeah, no question.
But again,
but the trend is higher, no question.
100%. DTD. Oh, day traders, DJ. It's been working pretty good. All right, kid. Look, again, I urge you. Look, there's going to be a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of opportunity, but with action and opportunity come risk. Okay, and with risk, okay, you have to be able to make. You have to be able to take your losses when they come.
You have to be able to trade so that you can live to trade another day.
My NCAA picks at the moment are Baylor or Houston. Okay, I did bet both those in the futures market. Okay, I don't think Gonzaga never fails to disappoint. Okay, because they don't play a tough enough schedule when it gets down to it. And the way they got manhandled last year by Baylor, but Baylor's a little bit weaker this year. We'll see. Right now, that's what I'm looking at. But we got time. We don't have the draws yet, right? We don't have the pairing. So that's a big part of who's the winner is going to be as well. Again, be careful, guys. Then that's it. Just like we do on our morning day trading, we have to take more risk. It means more opportunity. But again, the risk is the key. That's the part that destroys more traders. Is they don't understand that they have to take their losses when they come. Okay. Until then, have a great day, everybody. As always, we thank you, Andy. Thanks, brother. I'll talk to you later.